Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Hilton, and as you probably know, I'm going to be meeting with students today all day, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of reading with you. We're going to be reading some passages, and during that time, I thought it might be fun to leave you with a story. This is one of my favorite stories, and it has a great ending. This is called First Day Jitters, and it's by Julie Dannenberg. When good readers read, we like to make connections. And some of those connections that we can make are things that remind us of ourselves when we read about it in the book. And those are called text, which is the book, to self connections. So I want you to be thinking about if you had any connections to this text. Let's get started. Sarah dear, time to get out of bed, Mr. Hartwell said, poking his head through the bedroom doorway. You don't want to miss the very first day of school at your new school, do you? I'm not going, said Sarah, and pulled the covers over her head. Of course you're going, honey, said Mr. Hartwell, as he walked over to the window and snapped up the shade. No, I'm not. I don't want to start over again. I hate my new school, Sarah said. She tunneled down to the end of her bed. He looks a little frustrated. How can you hate your new school, sweetheart? Mr. Hartwell chuckled. You've never been there before. Don't worry. You liked your other school. You'll like this one. Besides, just think of all the new friends you'll meet. That's just it. I don't know anybody, and it will be hard, and I just hate it. That's all. What will everyone think if you aren't there? We told them you were coming. Looks like they sent out the police and even have wanted posters. They will think that I am lucky, and they will wish that they were at home in bed like me. Mr. Hartwell sighed. Sarah Jane Hartwell, I'm not playing this silly game 1 second longer. I'll see you downstairs in 5 minutes. I don't know about you boys and girls, but I remember that from when I was a kid. When your parents used all your names, ooh, trouble. I love the way they wrote this. Sarah tumbled out of bed. She stumbled into the bathroom. She fumbled into her clothes. My head hurts, she moaned as she trudged into the kitchen. Mr. Hartwell handed Sarah a piece of toast and her lunchbox. They walked to the car. Sarah's hands were cold and clammy. They drove down the street. She couldn't breathe. And then they were there. I feel sick, said Sarah weakly. Nonsense, said Mr. Hartwell. You'll love your new school once you get started. Oh, look, there's your principal, Mrs. Burton. Sarah slumped down in her seat. Oh, Sarah, Mrs. Burton gushed, peeking into the car. There you are. Come on, I'll show you where to go. She led Sarah into the building and walked quickly through the crowded hallways. Don't worry, everyone is nervous the first day, she said over her shoulder as Sarah rushed to keep up. When they got to the classroom, most of the children were already in their seats. The class looked up as Mrs. Burton cleared her throat. Class, attention please, said Mrs. Burton. When the class was quiet, she led Sarah to the front of the room and said, Class, I would like you to meet your new teacher, Mrs. Sarah Jane Hartwell. I love that little twist. Did you think it was one of the students? I know I did when I first read that. I love that story. Well, whether or not you had some jitters, I'd like you to think about any text-to-self connections that you can make. And if you did have some jitters, maybe something that you were able to do to help calm them. All right. Well, boys and girls, I look forward with talking to you later, and it was good to see you. Bye-bye.